My name is Waffles, non-government whistleblower turned political commentator. We're just going to take a real quick look at some of the recent stuff going on in the courts. Today is August 5th, 2025. It is 8:17 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So these are Trump administration related cases. VOS Selections, Inc. versus Trump, U.S. Court of International Trade. This case was filed May 28th, 2025, it looks like. The court struck down the so-called Liberation Day tariffs imposed under Trump via the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, IEPA, finding that Trump exceeded his statutory authority. Tariff collection under that executive order was permanently enjoined. It's now under appeal in the federal circuit, where judges are further questioning the scope of IEPA in trade policy. Trump v. CASA, Inc., that's C-A-S-A, that is in the U.S. Supreme Court, decided June 27, 2025. This decision limited lower courts' use of universal injunctions, ruling that district courts generally lack authority to issue nationwide blocks on executive actions such as Trump's birthright citizenship order. Courts must tailor injunctions to the specific plaintiffs unless complete relief justifies broader scope. Barbara et al. V. Trump, District of New Hampshire, July 10, 2025. After the Supreme Court's CASA ruling, this class action lawsuit filed by the ACLU secured a preliminary injunction blocking enforcement of Executive Order 14160, which sought to end birthright citizenship on behalf of a certified class of affected individuals. AFGE versus Trump, Northern District of California, filed April 28, 2025. Labor unions and local governments sued to halt Trump's executive order imposing mass federal layoffs and agency program closures. A restraining order was granted, but the Ninth Circuit and ultimately the Supreme Court stayed that injunction on July 8, 2025. JGG et al. Versus Trump, DDC, March 15th, 2025 is when it was filed as a class action and habeas petition by Venezuelan detainees challenging deportation under Trump's Alien Enemies Act proclamation targeting alleged gang affiliates. Case is ongoing before Judge Boasberg. San Francisco AIDS Foundation versus Trump, Northern District of California, filed February 20th, 2025. LGBTQ and public health organizations challenge Trump-era executive provisions impacting federal agencies and civil rights protections. The case remains pending. Immigration and asylum litigation, asylum ban cases, D.C. Circuit and District Courts. Multiple courts have blocked Trump's reinstated asylum ban under emergency authority, ruling it unlawfully circumvented immigration law and barred processing of asylum claims. Deportations were ordered, halted, and agents instructed to process migrants under standard legal frameworks. In Southern California, an appeals court upheld a temporary injunction blocking indiscriminate immigration sweeps based on race, language, or occupation, a ruling significant in the fight over enforcement tactics. Congressional oversight case, Congressional Visit Access lawsuit, U.S. House members v. DHS/ICE, filed 6 days ago. A group of 12 Democratic members of Congress sued the Trump administration over restrictions denying them unannounced access to ICE detention centers, which they say violates legal oversight rights. Plaintiffs include Reps Veronica Escobar, Jason Crow, and others. Congressional action litigation. While most litigation so far focuses on executive action, there is also ongoing scrutiny tied to congressional investigations. As of August 5th, 2025, the House Oversight Committee subpoenaed DOJ documents and sought depositions from prominent figures like Bill and Hillary Clinton as part of inquiries related to the Epstein investigation, while also implicating former President Trump in some inquiries. State Supreme Court decisions. Get off of my keyboard, cat. The Colorado, what happened? I lost my place. The Colorado Supreme Court, Anderson versus Griswold, December 2023. That was for the disqualification of Donald Trump on the presidential ballot. The Colorado Supreme Court ruled Trump ineligible. The U.S. Supreme Court reversed the decision on March 4th of 2024, holding that only Congress, not states, may enforce Section 3. The state-level ruling was invalidated on federal constitutional grounds. This is giving me old cases. And then on the state level, we have the Texas Supreme Court. Today, August 5th, 2025, Greg Abbott petitioned the Republican-led Texas Supreme Court to remove Democratic State Representative Gene Wu from office. He argues Wu abandoned his post by fleeing Texas to block a Republican redistricting plan supported by Trump, aiming to flip 5 U.S. House seats ahead of the 2026 midterms. Wu led Democrats in a walkout, denying the House quorum to stall the passage of GOP redistricting measure. Trump publicly endorsed the plan and called for assertive consequences, including potential FBI involvement in retrieving absent lawmakers. The case is pending before the Supreme Court, with legal scholars expressing skepticism about using quo warranto to remove elected lawmakers for rhetoric or protest. North Carolina Supreme Court Elections Board power shift. The decision was made on April 2025. Enforcement confirmed June 2025. A Republican-controlled legislature enacted a law transferring appointment authority for the Senate Board of Elections from the Democratic Governor Josh Stein to the newly elected Republican auditor Dave Bolduc. Governor Stein sued, claiming the law violated the Constitution. Ruling, the North Carolina Supreme Court declined to block the law and allowed the appointment shift to proceed during ongoing appeals. As a result, Bolduc assumed control and has appointed new board members. The ruling significantly shapes election oversight ahead of the 2026 midterms, drawing scrutiny amid broader partisan disputes over redistricting and federal congressional control. That's all this really giving me right now for state Supreme Court stuff. I'm just looking this up just to see what kind of stuff we got going on right now. I'm pretty sure that there's additional cases, but there's not information on all of those, and this is just a short overview to just kind of like take a glance at what's going on in our legal system right now and give it some thought.
So the Olympics is great, and Johnny, for the others, the World Cup, Johnny is the head of it. We had our top people, Wasserman. They all came in on the Olympics, and then I saw Johnny, and we got the World Cup too. And it's only because they rigged the election that I'll be your president representing you there. I got both of them. I got the Olympics and I got the World Cup. And I said, it's too bad. One was in 2026 and the other was in 2028. And I said, I won't be there. I won't be your president. But then they rigged the election, and now we won, so I'm going to be your president for the Olympics and for the World Cup. So, Johnny, thank you for the World Cup, and everybody, thank you for the Olympics. We're going to have a great time.
Hey guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment to my videos. And also, don't forget to check out my shop where you could get this awesome Real Patriots Punch Nazis t-shirt. America, fuck yeah. And if you go to the link tree in my bio on most platforms. It's got links to everything, all of my stuff. You can find my shop there. I'm on eBay. You can also get this cool Exterminate MAGA sticker, because MAGA's fucking cockroaches. And fuck MAGA. Abolish MAGA. Fuck you, MAGA.